The Council on Peace, or Board of Peace, as it is officially known, is a new international entity created by President Trump to oversee Gaza reconstruction. Long term, the president's vision is to expand the board's work to bring about global peace through conflict resolution. Trump invited 60 countries to join. Among those accepting membership, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Pakistan, Qatar, and the UAE. Our next guest questions the wisdom of including member states that are known for violating human rights. Kiri Kankanwende is External Affairs Leader at Christian Solidarity Worldwide, and she joins us to explain. Kiri, it's good to talk with you again. CSW and I'm sure other organizations are concerned about this Peace Board membership, and you say it undermines international law and human rights by including members like the United Arab Emirates. Why? Tell us more.
Yes, so as you mentioned, the UAE government official and chairman of the board of Manchester City Football Club in the UK, Khaldoon Khalifa Al Mubarak, is sitting on the board for the UAE. And we're concerned because there is credible evidence that the UAE is supporting one of the parties in the civil conflict in Sudan, which stands accused. This is called the Rapid Support Forces, one of the two fighting bodies. And they stand accused alongside the other party of serious crimes, crimes against humanity, and other war crimes. We've had teams go out and do documentation, and the things we've heard have been truly harrowing. But the evidence is out there. In fact, the UN has reports from its special expert estimating that at least 150,000 people have been killed in that conflict. 30 million are going hungry. 13 million are displaced. And so with what's going on in that country and the UAE's deep involvement there, we do question the wisdom of having this country sit, and a number of others sit on this board.
That group's the former Janjaweed that
Yes.
used to attack people in Darfur, and they're still doing it.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you mentioned that, because it's often forgotten that they are a rebranded Janjaweed, and many will remember the campaigns on Darfur from many years ago. Unfortunately, we're seeing similar abuses now happening across the country.
And we know for many years Qatar has supported the Hamas terror group, Turkey as well. So why should we be concerned about them sitting on the Peace Board?
Yes, for very similar reasons. It's just a question of whether these states that are actively undermining peace and security worldwide, not to mention the lives of different communities around the world. I mean, these terrorist organizations, they're not just seeking to terrorize specific groups, but also undermine democracies, Western democracies. And so to give these countries a free pass to something as prestigious as the Board of Peace is something that we really do question. Not to mention the fact that the terms and conditions of the board do seem a little bit unusual. And given that for $1 billion you can have permanent membership, and these countries have a lot of money, it does raise the specter that they could be on there for some time.
And concerning the support of Qatar and Turkey, I mean, we're seeing that right now in Syria, them supporting the government there, of course, but attacking the Kurds once again. And we know Turkey's been doing that for years, supporting the militants there and even ISIS, giving them refuge inside Turkey, money, material support. So what other countries concern you right now as members of this board?
There are some authoritarian regimes as well, like Belarus, that are also on the board. But I'd say, there are these individual nations, but the structure altogether and the fact that they will not be subject to scrutiny does give us a lot of concern.
Well, beyond Gaza, some political observers say that Trump's goal is to minimize the influence of the United Nations, maybe even replace it. Trump says the UN is dedicated to peace, but hasn't done much to bring it about. So should the United Nations be replaced by a 60-member Board of Peace? What do you think?
President Trump is not wrong that the UN has its shortcomings and has certainly failed in many areas. However, it was set up for a very specific reason after the Second World War, and it has succeeded in many areas as well. rather than junk the whole thing, we would actually call for reform because we have to remember what it's for: securing justice, securing peace around the world. It has done a lot. There is still more to do, but this Board of Peace, with just the 60 nations and that kind of pay for play structure, where they can pay for access, pay for leverage, is deeply worrying because they will have a lot of the resources at a time when the UN is cash strapped. So rather than supplant it with something that is already flawed, we'd say work with what we've got and improve it because the bones are good, the foundations are noble, and there's a lot to work with there.
Okay, Kiri Kankawende of Christian Solidarity Worldwide, thank you from London, sharing your insights with us.
Thank you.